In any given life, we learn how to integrate planets and the signs. And planets are gods and signs are animals. Even though some signs evolved and now we have like human signs, essentially they're all animals. And gods are moving through the animals. They are ruling the animals. These are the planets. So there is always connection, communication between the two. And finally, an integration. We learn how to integrate those two. However, Chiron represents the unique quality that has already integrated the animal and the god in itself. This is just through the very nature of the Chiron. It is half a horse and half a god. So unity of a god and an animal is a very special quality of all of us. We call that a karmic part that evolves in us, which is cosmic soul, basically. Other than having just a human soul, which is represented by the moon, we also have our cosmic soul, which is represented by the Chiron. When we talk about the cosmic soul, we measure the quality of integration of animal part, of one part that comes from the earth, and the other which is not from the earth, which is coming from the god. Connection between the two can be pain in some cases, can represent a place of wound, or can be a gift, a great gift that actually can heal all the karma. So the quality of a Chiron in its best is to be a karmic healer, to heal all the karma one may have. You can see the evolution of a soul through the quality of a Chiron. Mostly. So you have two phases of Chiron when you check that. There is a phase where we see the pain, and we read that as a karmic pain, and depending in the area of the house it is, the quality of aspect it has, we can see what kind of pain is that, what is that. And at the same time, it provides the key how to heal that. On the other side, if the Chiron is really in its best position, really doing good in its own sign, aspects, dispositors, everything that we read. So if it is really good, if it works very well for a person, we talk about the part that is here to be a great teacher, to teach and to heal. So this is the quality of it. Just as the Chiron is connecting gods with the animals in us, it is also connecting the future life's memories with the past life memories. So through the animal part of it, we connect with the energy part, and that energy part is telling us about the past, all past memories, all past stories. So they can be very karmic, and we can work with them, and also we can see some pain in that. We can see in which area we actually didn't know how to do, and we inherited certain pains in different karmic experiences that we had in different lives of a Chiron really developed. We'll see what is coming from our future lifetimes here. So Chiron is at the same time representing part of our soul that already lives in the future, which is active there, and bringing us here, downloading, you can say, a knowledge, but very practical kind of knowledge, that knowledge that can help others. That part of us knows that the others are part of us. There are no others truly. These are just future us. Everyone we see represents part of us. And that knowledge is the one that can heal by itself. Chiron also has different practical techniques, so to say. On a mental level, Chiron is the first astrologer. All the astrology knowledge comes from it. And if we have that quality here, we typically say it's a kind of a very shamanic approach to astrology. So it is not like a typically mental. It also has some knowledge of how to heal, how to use the energy in order to balance the karma. So because it is a karmic healer. On the other side, it can be just a healer without the necessity of knowing astrology. So with the Chiron we can see that, but it is always depending on a role it has in some life. It is always someone who can really help himself by helping others. So this is the thing with the Chiron. When whatever you do with the others, you're doing with yourself. So if you heal someone, you heal that because you need to heal that part in yourself. So this is the way how you do it. And this is what we read from the Chiron. So in some cases, Chiron really represents the situation where someone needs to help another person who has a big problem or something in order to solve its own problem. So whatever the problem of a person might be, this is something you need to someone else to help that, to give that, because this is the way how you heal yourself. That's basically the formula for Chiron. In some other cases, you have Chiron whose necessity is not to work with the people who have a great pains in their life. This is, for example, if you have a Chiron which is more with Jupiter working in a very harmonious aspect, etc., some other planets. So in that area, in that life, we are called not to work with those who are in pain, but with those who are open to hear, to get something new, to open themselves to something bigger, greater, actually different vibration of it. And still very helpful, very important, maybe even more for a collective, for a greater things, but everything is good. So whatever the Chiron is, it will tell us where we need to integrate, how to integrate, because Chiron by itself represents integration, and that integration is a healing process. So if we have a complete integration, we are totally healed. When I say totally healed, I mean karmically healed, no karma. We are karma free. That means being totally healed. So if Chiron is under very challenged aspects, position and all that, well, it can emphasize greater need to deal with other people who have some deeper problems. So it can be in medical field, it can be in some psychological field, or any other. We need to help doing that for the others, but in that way we actually define our very problem. This is a self-healing. Others are representing part of ourself. First thing is, Chiron is strong in the sign of Pisces, because Chiron was known the first one to sacrifice. So that's the Chiron. His mother is a nymph. If the Chiron is representing Centaurus, that would be like naturally represented by the 9th house. The 4th from the 9th would be the 12th, which is the sign of Pisces. So this is where the Chiron is in its domicile. Opposite part would be Virgo. The exaltation sign is a Gemini. 9th degree of Gemini is degree of Chiron's exaltation. So hands that we have a healing powers, and everyone has that. So we can say that even Chiron's chakras are right here in our palms. They are powerful if we learn how to work with that. Aspects, house positions, even sign position, all that will give us more information about our karmic healer and our karmic journey, in which life we learned that skill or we got that pain. So this is something that we can study in karmic astrology when we check that. So if we say that someone has a Chiron in the 1st house, in case of a great position, generally this is a great healer. The person with that Chiron is born to be a different, to find itself as an integrated person and personality who is just by its own presence capable of healing others, bringing that integration part to anyone. On the other side, if the Chiron is challenged, that person is bringing that wound from some other life and now can experience that. And depending on what is causing that, this is the area where one needs to heal. It can be very physical, it can be on a physical level, but also on some other levels as well. But the 1st house represents physicality. If the Chiron is in the 2nd house, we are talking about values, like something that we connect to, something which is important to us. So for some people, that pain is coming with the material resources, like a financial area. They can have a pain caused by that. So this is something that they need to learn, how to actually solve that kind of problem to other people in order to solve their own problem. For those who are really good with that, have a good Chiron in the second house, they can expect to materialize themselves through that knowledge of integration. So it can be very practical, but these people can get and develop that value, like being great healers or doctors. For example, that would be one typical, but anything that would actually include integration, uniting the opposite parts, basically, would heal that. So how to heal that money problem that people may have, etc. If it is in the third house, we are talking, in the best case scenario, about those who are capable to bring the knowledge, basically understanding of how to heal, how to work with the hands, how to be healers, because the third house is naturally strong for a Chiron. Also, it can be through writing special books and the words that can heal people. It can be very good in psychological counseling, for example. On the other side, it can represent challenge in the area of communication. We are meeting the people in this life to whom we have some unresolved karmic issues in communication. So someone can be hurt by that. And we need to learn how to overcome that. So it's very important what the person is talking when the one has that Chiron in the third house. It's very important that for that person to become a real healer, actually, and never to say negative words, because that would hurt themselves very well. If the Chiron is in the fourth house, it's very powerful, angular house. Challenge comes through the family. So it can be family or the place one was born. That is actually like a karmic wound. And maybe one was born or incarnated in this life in the place where one died in the previous one, or had some issues in that area. This is the area which we need to heal. The very same can be said for the family. It can be also some issues there in that area. So this is something that needs to be healed there. So just to make it nice, if one has a really good Chiron there, so this is the person who will bring new things, like a healing things to the family and even to the place, maybe to the city or the country one was born. That's something like the integration power comes from the very deep part of the soul. The fourth house represents our soul, and the Chiron is a cosmic soul. So this is like really bringing something deeper in our human or personal part of life. If the Chiron is in the fifth house, we have the emotional integration in front of us. We need to unite with the opposites and to love that. So whatever it is, it should be loved even though we don't know what it is. Very often people who have a Chiron in the fifth can have adopted child, for example. We get something that it's not from us originally, but cosmically. Yes, it is us. We know that. We integrate that. We integrate something new into our daily life. Also, in a field of emotional life, it is something different. Different circumstances, different people that we love. People that are totally different, that our surroundings and all that. So there could be a pain as well, depending on the quality of it. But if you're really capable of integrating, just uniting the opposites, no judging, nothing, but just love, just be happy with that different thing, different approach. That's a great thing. So if we have, for example, a hobby, even the hobby, which is the fifth house, it can be astrology, it can be any kind of healing, but we love that, what we do. That's also really very helpful for us to bring us into the capacity to love something which is at least unusual, so to say. And that brings the healing power in our, happy life, because we want to be happy with the fifth house. And the Chiron is bringing that cosmic quality of it. If the Chiron is in the sixth house, this is the area of our physical health. And usually we need to heal someone in order for us to maintain our health. And this is the great house for healers, physical healers, doctors, or any other sort of healing, very often alternative sort of healing and the knowledge. But we need to practice that and to help someone. If this is not our area of expertise or something that we do, we need to help someone to get healed. But this is the way how we also help ourselves. And for us, the routine should be practicing something very natural, like different kind of alternative medicine, alternative approaches to life. Unorthodox, very unusual, very new style. But that's very good, generally very good for our health, for our daily life. And also this is the area of what do we do? What is our job? We can find our own way, our own thing. It is not like that we go the way that everyone else goes. No, no, no. We have our own job, something new, something that we invented, probably, like that. So that's what the Chiron wants here. And if you have Chiron in the 7th house, house of relationship is very sensitive. And having Chiron there is really like establishing a relationship which is totally unorthodox, totally different. So easy to be hurt there, so easy. But at the same time, so great opportunity to really transcend habits and to become totally free, totally different. That usually puts us in a situation that we meet someone who is so much different than we are now. And at the same time, so important, so that keeping that balance asks us to be all the time new, all the time very honest, is something that actually gives us a way of our awakening. So I would say this is one of a very sensitive position for Chiron to be. It's easy to be hurt here, just because people are very attached. What they see in the mirror, that means what do we expect from others to say or how to behave. Here you be open to unexpected, to different things. That kind of thing transcends anything that we regularly know. Expect our partner to be totally different race or whatever, totally different culturally or any other way. And still we are here like one system. It's a big deal for us. Having Chiron in the 8th house usually emphasizes the need for going into a very deep shamanic experiences, a very deep change in it. Very deep transformation that we need to make. It is a very intensive sometimes, but at the same time very helpful. So we have Chiron there, like shamanic rituals, going through very cathartic experiences are very helpful here. People go through that and learn how to actually come back. It is almost as we are talking about the near-death experiences. So you want to go there and make a transformation, wake up and come back again. So this is dramatic one. It can be like this. Of course, we are talking about any surgery that we can have. Like if the rest of the horoscope is actually emphasizing that the person itself can be a great surgeon, so that's a way one can experience that. Go into the area that are very sensitive, help others to transform, meaning through surgery, and to heal them on a very deep, profound way. So that's one way. It's also great for all psychologists. So if we are capable of actually making that inner transformation that basically awaken that quality of integration that we were not even aware it was possible before. That's how powerful it is. So with that kind of Chiron, we learn how to transform our pain in our victory, in our healing power. So that's a powerful position, but it requires a bravery. We need to be brave to do that. Chiron in the 9th house is kind of its own very similar house. However, we need to know that when we say it is its own, yes, in the idea that the 9th house represents the house of Centaurus and it belongs here. However, Chiron wants more, wants us to be more real than it is just a regular 9th house. So if it is a spiritual path, it wants us to change, to challenge anything in order to be real, whatever that is. Because it says, if it is not integrated, if we believe that there is duality like good and evil, Chiron will challenge that. Because if we believe that there is a fight between good and evil, so then the pain will come, then the hurt will come, and then the Chiron is not really active. So Chiron will challenge that. And soon that practically means that we will change our viewpoints, maybe philosophical or something, but this is the way how we want to develop and to find that formula of what is actually the truth, what is actually the real thing. And if we find that, that's the truth that actually is like formula for everything. That's a great knowledge. So here we can have a great teachers, those who are capable of maintaining, channeling the knowledge from the future and bringing it here, because the ninth house is the one that represents our next incarnation. So with the Chiron here, if it is very active, that's where we are. We are bringing it down right from a very active future incarnation. So this is the best case scenario. Of course, in any other mundane effects, we can talk, oh, we will go to any foreign country and here we can whatever. Either if we are talking about healing to ourselves or depending where the person is, but this is how we can also read it. If we have a Chiron in the 10th house, again, a very powerful house for the Chiron, because this is one of the angular houses, and here we are talking about the person who is a healer, that profession to be that. That person needs to be directed into the area to help others. It is in a profession of helping others, but in a very honest, real way. It's not just like we are doing something. We need to integrate. We need to make new qualities in life of others. The best position for all the medical doctors or that kind of people, in a way that we don't know what to do with that. If you see that this Chiron is too challenged and the person doesn't go that way, that's problems with one of the parents, father or mother, can be like very challenging and can be causing a pain, great pain of person, and then person can feel that through any other people of authority in the life who are actually causing that. So this is like a person is not ready for that call and bring the pain from certain life. So in a karmic and reincarnation astrology, we can actually see which life is that one that the pain is coming from. Typically, the 10th house position would be the third previous life where the pain, where that karma was earned. So then we would go and check what was there. But actually, Chiron is calling us to integrate, to heal that part. So that's an important thing for us to do. If you have a Chiron in the 11th house, we can actually experience some wound or some issues with the friends. But those friends can hurt people not intentionally. Just like, it can happen. Just like things happens. Someone gets hurt by someone, but not because the person wanted to hurt you or something, it just happened. This is the story. So there are many chances that things can go wrong like this, especially if the Chiron is challenged there. But if the Chiron is really good, we can say that there will be a friend in our life which is so different, so unusual. He belongs to a different group of people, different country, different language. He speaks his totally different culture. But he can be so great, so unique, so important, so integrating for us that we'll say, wow. So this comes from somewhere. It is not from something in our surroundings. It's somewhere from the world. Unexpected. One will come and actually change our life for the better. So this is the thing. And that actually opens us towards something greater. We get a whole new world out of it. That's like a karmic gift in its best position. And if we are talking about the Chiron in the 12th house, it's a very special one. The best position is giving us the situation where we find our own guru, somewhere deep, some hidden places, somewhere it's very spiritual. It actually has that secret knowledge that works from us. And through that tall peace in us, in our soul, we develop. In case if it is not that well, there is some psychological issues sometimes with the people. They are scared or like this. So these people need to work with the wild animals. They need to learn how to heal shamanically, how to actually come to that and to heal that psychological instability in it And once they do that, they will actually develop that spiritual healing qualities that can be through different kind of meditations, different even shamanic practices that they bring. Anyway, Chiron position in anyone's chart is the signal for us to awaken, to integrate, at the same time represents the lock and the key. So if we know how to use that key, we will unlock that karmic issues that we had that used to make some karmic problems in our life, or we will learn how to continue with our mission that we already started in some future or some past life, and to bring it here for a greater integration of us all.